little bit. Today we're going to talk about jails. And so I wanted to give a quick overview of jails just because oftentimes when people are talking about the criminal justice system, jails are sort of like this thing that we know is there, but we're really not sure what's going on with them. So I wanted to give a quick overview of sort of their role in the criminal justice system as sort of a baseline. So unlike prisons, which generally have people who are sentenced for a year or more, they're post-conviction, jails are multi-use facilities. So jails hold, over half of jail populations are people who are in jail pre-trial awaiting the resolution of their case. But they also have people who are there for a parole or probation violation. They can have people there for state prisons that are overflowing, and so they're holding them there. They have people there for ICE detention. So they are not, they're just a messy place. And depending on your jurisdiction, there could be filled very differently than someone else's. So if you're average length of stay is a little over a month, and that's been creeping up. That's gone up 44% over the past decade. So that's the average. The median is a lot shorter. Many people go in jail for 2 days, perhaps, while their case is being resolved or they're making bail. And it's the place where the most people really touch the system, with the exception of arrests. In a given year, over the past decade, the average number of admissions is 10 million admissions in the United States. So it's really a large number of people who end up in jail in a given year for some length of time. I think that nothing has brought this home to me and a lot of people in this country as much as COVID pandemic has. Jails were one of the places that were hotspots for infections throughout this period of time, both for people who were incarcerated in jails and also people working in jails. Jails are just disease incubators. A lot of people in crowded spaces going in and out, back and forth to the community. And it suddenly was like, all right, we don't even know who's in jail for how long and why. And yet we have these people who are being exposed to COVID and other diseases. And it's just not a good place for people with mental health issues. We could have a whole other discussion about jails and behavioral health. They're also expensive. To have a person, people, as I noted, are average of about a month in jail, but sort of like a bed day for a year costs $34,000, or did when we looked at it back in 2017. And nationally, just at the county level, counties are spending over $25 billion a year on jails. So from a taxpayer standpoint, like, how are we using our jails? Are we actually using them in a way that protects public safety? Or are we holding people in jail unnecessarily for low-level offenses or probation violations, potentially because they can't afford a small amount of bail? So, and just from a good governance standpoint, if you've denied someone their freedom and you're holding them in jail, it'd be good to know a little bit more about those people who are in that situation. Another finding was we looked at this length of stay. And what we found is that Black individuals, on average, in 2022 spent 42 days in jail versus white individuals who spent 35 days in jail. So, it's not a huge differential, but it's, a week. Well, I guess I would just say, if there aren't any other questions, I'm happy to, look at your particular county and your jail, help you look at your data. If there's ways that we can make this dashboard more useful for you. We ran it by National Association of Counties, and they kind of told us what was important to them as county officials, but we want this to be useful for the media as well. If you do have a special report and you want individual data, reach out to us and we can work with NYU to get you that, like if you're really interested in certain things. I mean, one of the other things we're able to look at is like the number of times that people go to jail. So you've got 10 million admissions, but that's not 10 million people. We know that some people cycle in and out of jails multiple times, especially people with mental health and substance use issues, people who are homeless. So that's one area that we're interested in sort of taking a harder look at is, who are the people who are cycling through jails and probably also emergency rooms and probably also, homeless facilities. And because they're very, they have multiple issues, expensive for the county to deal with, and jails probably aren't the right place for them. They're probably the place of last resort for them, for the county.
Tracy, thank you.